Today, we're diving into the story of a man who was, well, a walking contradiction. He was a physicist who saw this beautiful, simple unity in the entire universe, but at the same time, his life at home was filled with this deep, painful division. This is the man himself, Dr. Abdus Salam. And his genius, it was just on another level. I mean, he unified two of the four fundamental forces of nature. That's not just a small tweak, that's a feat that completely reshaped how we see the universe. But, before he could go on and rewrite the laws of physics, he had to grapple with something much closer to home, the circumstances of his birth. And that, right there, is where this whole incredible story really kicks off. So, let's go back. Our story starts in this small, kind of remote village in what was then British India. And in this unlikely place, a spark of pure, unimaginable genius was about to set the entire world of science on fire. So he was born in a place called Jang. We're talking about a town that was miles and miles away from the big scientific centers of the world. But despite those humble beginnings, his brain was just wired differently. It was so powerful that people knew almost right away that he was a prodigy. Yeah, a mind like that, it's not going to stay hidden for long, right? A whole new world was calling out to him, and that world was pretty much the Mount Everest of theoretical physics, the University of Cambridge. And when I say his rise was fast, I mean it was meteoric. Get this, at just 14 years old, he's shattering records at Punjab University. By the time he's 20, he's got a full ride to Cambridge. And then, at 25, he's already back in Pakistan teaching. The whole journey is just, wow, it's breathtaking. Okay, so once he gets to Cambridge, Salam just zeroes in on one of the biggest questions in all of physics. Kind of the holy grail, really. He's on a quest for a single, beautiful theory that could explain, well, everything. Now, to really get what he accomplished, we need a super quick crash course on something called the fundamental forces. Think of these as the four master rules of the entire universe. They control literally everything, from why stars burn bright in the sky to how the battery in your phone even works. All right, so this is where Salam changes the game. Before he came along, scientists thought of two forces as completely different things. You had the electromagnetic force, that's light, electricity, all that stuff. And then you had the weak nuclear force, which is all about radioactive decay. Totally separate, right? Well, Salam's incredible insight was to show that no, they weren't separate at all. They were actually just two different faces of the same thing. He proved they were two sides of the same coin and unified them into a single electroweak force. I mean, that is a massive step towards that ultimate goal, a theory of everything. And for an insight that profound, that world-changing, well, the world of science gives you its highest possible honor. In 1979, Abdus Salam was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. But here's the thing about Salam. Winning the Nobel, that wasn't the finish line for him. Not even close. It was a platform. He saw science as this powerful elixir, And he made it his life's mission to bring it back home and share it with the entire developing world. And honestly, his work away from the equations was just as important. He founded this amazing, world-class physics center specifically for scientists from developing countries. He served as an advisor to the Pakistani government. And he was just this relentless advocate for science across the entire Muslim world. And this quote right here, it just says it all. This was his core belief. For Salam, science wasn't owned by anyone. It was the shared heritage of all of mankind. No borders, no exceptions. Simple as that. But this is where that beautiful story of unity begins to crack. Because we have to talk about the painful, complicated part of his legacy. He was a hero to the entire world, but back home, he was a deeply controversial figure. So on one side, you have this Nobel laureate celebrated everywhere. And on the other, back in Pakistan, he's facing persecution. Why? Well, Salam was a member of the Ahmadiyya community. It's a Muslim sect that, because of a constitutional amendment in 1974, was declared non-Muslim in Pakistan. And because of his faith, his own country often downplayed his incredible achievements. They even went so far as to remove his name from a physics building that had been named for him. And that right there, that's the absolute heart of the paradox. Abdus Salam was the first ever Muslim to win a Nobel Prize in a science. Just think about that one fact. It holds everything. The incredible pride of that achievement, and also the heartbreaking complexity of a man who was rejected by so many of the people he wanted to lift up. So, his story leaves us with this really tough question, doesn't it? How are we supposed to remember a hero who was celebrated by the whole world, but cast out by his own nation, all because of his faith? It's a conflict that really makes you think about science, about identity, and about who really gets to claim a hero as their own.